you do, then you click the button that takes action on it. Okay? Okay. Standing by. Hello and welcome to Council Action. I'm Russell Inman, and joining us tonight from Ward 6 is Councilman Gerard Henke.
Good evening.
Good to have you back.
Good to be here.
So we had a kind of a lightweight agenda. Those are good, one-pagers.
Yeah.
But we were talking a little bit here before we started the show. There's still a lot to cover. There's a lot happening in the city of Florissant. And to start off, it's been a popular issue, the streets. So there's an ordinance approving the Florissant Complete Streets Policy.
Okay.
Talk about that.
Yeah. Most of you people may know that we just passed the Proposition S for the streets. This ties into that, if you will. We're going to be doing more street work, which people want more of the streets fixed. But it's more complete usage, just to put it in the memo. Complete streets means streets that are safe for all users, including pedestrians, bicyclists, motorists, and transit riders of all ages and abilities. They're making the streets more user-friendly for all people, not just cars. And it's a good approach. If we're going to be doing these things, let's do them for the future. Let's do them right. And I think it's critical. Another part of this complete streets is this concept is now strongly encouraged by nearly all the federal transportation guidelines. And so what it does, it lines us up for the future here for any possible, for federal dollars. We get grants down the road, any federal grants for anything to do with our streets will be better tuned if there's future requirements for this type of approach. A lot of it's with American with disabilities, and it'll cover everything. If somebody's possibly in a wheelchair or a bicycle, if they can possibly do lanes. But that's what it is in a nutshell, so obviously why would you not want that?
Good.
Yeah.
We had another second reading tonight. It was an ordinance for a special use permit for the RF Alternatives LLC. This is Cellular Solutions LLC. They're constructing a telecommunications tower, a cell tower, and it's going to happen there at the Christian School on Dunn Road. On
Dunn Road, the former Aquinas site, Aquinas High School. It's a cell tower, and you always get some people talking about cell towers, understandably so. They don't want it for all their reasons, whatever reasons they come up with.
The fear of them falling over,
wind
blowing them.
Everything on, radiation, who knows, whatever kind of waves and things. But,
sure.
and there's a lot of concern, so usually somebody will come up and talk. But overall, I think it needs to be noticed that they're going to go in. They're going to be as safe as we can possibly make them. And the main people that want this in, obviously besides the cell companies that are renting, it's going to be good for the Christian school. They get a little revenue out of it up there.
Sure.
They're the ones that are proposing it also. They want it. So it's our job to take the pros and the cons and do what's best. The council voted unanimously for the grant's permission to put it in, so that's where we're at with it.
Did they mention when construction of that will begin?
They did, and I'm trying to think. It'll be shortly because we're finished with the readings. I'm going to take a wild guess here. Let's just say April.
April. Okay, so they're not going to necessarily wait for school to get out and kids to be dispersed before they begin
and the way the site is, when we looked at it, there was a lot of questions. If you remember that meeting, the site, there's already what's there now is also is a tall light tower, standard for their field there, their soccer football field. It's going to go in the same location as that. That's coming down, and the tower's going up. In fact, it's going to be used for lighting that field. Also, part of that tower is going to be lights for their field. And then what they're doing is they're making it safe. They're fencing it, an 8-foot fence around it, and just to deter anybody from messing with it or trying to climb over to get access to it.
Good deal. And there was an ordinance authorizing a transfer. It's just a simple special use permit for Fat Boys Barbecue LLC, transferring over to Shomo Barbecue LLC. This was a carry-out restaurant at 300 St. Ferdinand.
Right. That's right down there, right south of the intersection of Washington and St. Ferdinand there. And it was an existing barbecue restaurant. It's just somebody else. They sold out, somebody else is taking over and making it a barbecue restaurant again.
I remember when this gentleman came in 2 weeks ago, he was excited that the building's already painted. It already looks good. It was set up for barbecue. and he was pretty excited to be able to open up his flavor, I think, as he put it.
But we're going to find out.
Yeah.
We're going to see who doesn't like barbecue, right?
That's right. It's becoming a popular trend, especially here in Florissant. We've got several of them. New business resolutions. There was a resolution supporting the City of Florissant's application to the East-West Gateway Council of Government Transportation Improvements Program. This is improvements to the intersection of Highway 67 and St. Ferdinand.
Yeah, and I think this one's probably going to be popular with a lot of people because we've heard a lot about it. That is in my ward there, but St. Ferdinand Park, where the Culver's restaurant is and everything. And it's been a problem for a while before Culver's, and now Culver's is doing well, which is a wonderful thing. There's more traffic coming out of the park, going into the park there. And they're going to try to reconfigure some turn lanes and some lighting, change some signal lights to make it a little more accessible, a little easier. I'm not going to go to the point saying that is dangerous, but I think it'll be better. And they're also talking about, then that'll involve completing a sidewalk that goes into St. Ferdinand Park along there, which there's not one there now. So it all ties in. Part of it, with the sidewalk part, like we said about the complete streets, kind of goes hand in hand with that. And then we tie in what we're doing is we're going for a grant from St. Louis County to do something with this intersection, because it's been, a lot of people have brought it to our attention.
Well, the volume here has definitely changed with the Culver's going in where it was part of a used car lot. You know, you didn't have the same kind of traffic flow going into that lot when it was there.
Well, and I think it's even more pronounced too, because the car lot wasn't viable, wasn't in business for several years, so there was no traffic.
There's no traffic.
And then it go
You're
from
right.
that to
You're
this,
right.
and it's really noticeable difference now. And I think that's why more and more comments have been coming forward. This, hopefully, a grant down the road will start to address that issue. Well, it will address that issue.
Good. Then there was a second resolution. This one's supporting the City of Florissant's application to the St. Louis County Department of Public Health Waste. This is a waste reduction grant.
What it is, they want to educate people. It's for a program, whether it would be print or media or whatever, multimedia, to educate more people. You know, we have single stream recycling in Florissant here. Blue cans, everything goes in there, they sort it out. What they want to do is kind of clean that up. Some people are putting the wrong things in recycling, and they're putting things that shouldn't go into recycling at all. What this is for a grant to more educate the people, to make the recycling itself more environmentally friendly and more efficient. Quite frankly, if you're putting all the stuff that doesn't belong in recycling, it's an inefficiency in the system. It's kind of defeating part of the purpose of recycling in the first place.
Have any thoughts gone into what that education program will be?
I'm sure there'll be mailings. Well, I don't know. I'm sure there'll be mailings. They may be coming with the bills or who knows what with the recycling. And I wouldn't be surprised if the city itself doesn't do something, just educating. Look, you don't put this in there. You don't put this in there. You know. So we're going for this grant, which is 90% paid for, to purify is not the correct word, but to fix our stream of recycling to what it should be.
Clean up the recycling.
Clean up the recycling. That's one way of looking at it, I guess.
Okay. Then we had a bill for first reading. This was an ordinance amending 8197, appointing 9 registered voters to the Redistricting Commission and removing Bernice Foley representing Ward 8 and adding Steve Padre.
It was just a secretarial thing, but I will say Bernice Foley has long been active in Florissant. She's done a lot of things in the city, and evidently she has a few health issues, getting up in years a little bit. And it's just a little new blood coming in. And the redistricting, we're looking at it right now. There's one from every council ward, one from each ward, and it's the boundary lines for our council boundaries. So they're looking at those because by law they have to be within, I think, 10% of each other. And if there's any demographics have changed or switched, you may have to move one street from Ward 1 to 2 or 3 to 5, whatever. That's what their job is, to align the boundaries so that they're legally accurate.
Okay, and that's come after just the number of people living in what those wards have changed,
Moved
or houses
around.
being built and changed.
Right, exactly.
All right. Well, what's going on in your ward? What's going on in the city of Florissant? That covered the meeting, like I said. That was kind of lightweight, but we've got a lot of things happening.
There is quite a few things happening, and I was going to touch on some of them here tonight. Some of the other council would ask. One of them, that St. Ferdinand parish, Councilman Joe Egan asked me about this one, asked if I would mention it. They're having a basketball tournament for the next 4 weekends, starting this weekend. They're gonna have barbecue starting at 10 in the morning until dark for the next 4 weekends, and it's benefiting one of the parishioners there, Nicholas Handing, who is a 6-month-old child that has cancer. So ultimate good cause. So if anybody, you get a chance, hungry for some barbecue, go to the basketball tournament, whatever. It's a good benefit from it. I mean, I can't imagine, how does a 6-year-old child have cancer?
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
it's
tough.
yeah. Another good one's coming up is the Polar Plunge for Special Olympics. Our police department's very active, and including our chief has been coerced into, where you're actually jumping into a cold lake at this time of year. But from my understanding, Chief Lowry and possibly as much as 30 of our officers are getting involved in it. It's all just to benefit the Special Olympics. Another wonderful cause. If you want any further information on this Polar Plunge, how you can support it, contact our Florissant Police Department, and they'll be more than happy to tell you when, where, how, and how much.
That's coming up this weekend.
Yeah, I think it's this weekend. I think it is this weekend.
Saturday around maybe 1 or 2 o'clock.
Yeah. And I didn't catch, I think it's at
Creve Coeur Lake.
Creve Coeur Lake, good, we're on the same page.
Hey, we got it. You're not going to jump in?
Coming up next year.
No donation will do it.
Donations are going to work on this one. Another thing coming up, the Valley of Flowers. Festival has become one of North County's, one of St. Louis area's premier events. Good, family-friendly, family-oriented. I think it's real important, especially a lot of the Valley of Flowers events are in Ward 6. And the mayor's mentioned it, and I would really like to push it, get it going, that we basically have a spring cleanup prior to the Valley of Flowers. Let's get out there. I know I got some painting I got to get done on my house this spring. I should have got it last fall, but the weather caught up with it. But let's make a little extra effort to make sure the grass, the bushes, get the paint done because we get citizens from all over the area, outside of the area, that come in for the Valley of Flowers. And I think it's really important we showcase our city, how good it will look when we do this. Along those lines, March 19th is the Trash Bash, which is to clean up the creeks in the area, the stream beds in the area. And everybody sees it, you drive by, there's junk, there's shopping cart, or just trash. So you can contact Tim Barrett with the city, is working, and that's going to be March the 19th to clean up the stream beds.
And they usually have interesting competitions during that trash bash.
Yeah.
You know, what's the most obscure thing you found? And I think some people have found bicycles.
Right.
You never know what's going to come
out. Sheer volume, who gets the most. But it's, it's another thing. This is our city.
They have fun with it.
That's right. Let's take care of it, I would love to get to the point where we get enough education where people aren't putting the stuff in the creeks to start with. We wouldn't have to have a trash bash. Let's have an education on that.
Absolutely.
But nonetheless, we're doing the effort to clean it up. April 16th is electronic recycling. That's at St. Ferdinand. All types of electronic speaks for itself. Electronic recycling and document shredding also at St. Ferdinand is April the 23rd. If you've got
the old tax returns
or whatever, you don't know what to do with them.
You need to get rid of.
You can safely get rid of them there.
Good.
Also, it's been a very hot button issue lately, and especially depending on who you talk to, is the little bit of the cleanup on Coldwater Creek. And then we've had hearings and meetings and everything else that goes along with this. Duchesne Park, they're going in and look at Department of Natural Resources monitoring this in Duchesne Park. Now remember, there's a lot of this. Like I said, this is a hot button issue, but what they're finding is a lot of this it's not, relevant's not the right word, it's not as nearly as bad as it was years ago, because time and flooding and just erosion is taking care of it, flushed it down to Missouri, down to Mississippi, all the way down. So they're going into Duchesne Park, which is by the Archdiocesan property back there, down off of St. Ferdinand. Or Graham Road there, actually. And what they're doing, they're going to go find if there's any there. They've already pre-screened a lot of it, and they're finding maybe just a little bit here and a little bit there. And they've got a whole system where they got dust control, and they're washing the trucks, and they're identifying it and hauling it out of there. So what's going to happen is they're going to close that park for a while. And that's going to be starting here in the next month or so, from my understanding. And they're going to close the park until it's completely done, which is how that needs to be done.
Okay.
You'll be hearing much more about this coming down the road, not just that particular park, but some of the pre-screening farther downstream, which is, they're finding that they're not finding what they found farther upstream, put it that way.
You might go.
Oh,
When they close the park down, I mean, is this so that way they're doing a cleanup, or are they doing a kind of a testing process?
a cleanup. I think they have identified that there's some minor, from my words, not the others, let me fix this, some minor contamination, if you will.
Okay.
And they are being very thorough in getting whatever they can find, cleaning it up, containing it,
Okay.
putting it in trucks, hauling it away, and they're gonna have cleaning the trucks before they leave, that site itself, the dust control on the trucks, everything with it. I think they're doing a fine job.
Okay.
You'll be hearing much more about it down the road. I'm trying to think of anything else I had on my map here. Also, I want to thank to Gina Walsh, State Senator, for the 270 North County corridor. She was instrumental in finishing up the last 10% of a study. They had done 90%, which is important in the fact that this North County 270 corridor, any future grants or developments or things that need to get fixed up here, the studies are already going to be done. So you're one step ahead of completing any projects in the future that need to get done.
Okay. Well, anything else? You expect any other new businesses to start to come to your ward?
Well, I'll tell you what, I'm still looking to get a microbrewery up on St. Francis somewhere, but I hope I can announce that sometime.
Get that going.
Yeah.
That sounds good.
I think it would be good, yeah.
All right. Well, thanks for your time. Thanks for going through the meeting and letting the public know some of the
Thank
great
you.
events that Florissant has coming up. We look forward to those, and look forward to seeing you jump in that polar plunge, even though you say you're not. Thanks for watching. This is I'm Russell Inman. This has been Council Action. We'll see you next time.